Hey, Retcon Raider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, with special thanks to Nine Knives, Revenant, Eloise, A Nerd in Warpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Dragon Matrix 7, Excelsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Thomas Pietkowski, and Valenrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Wasteland 3. Man, I haven't booted this one up in like half a year now, I think. We of course wrapped up our original series, full 60 episodes, back in May. But since then, InXile has put out 2 new expansions, so given that I needed a bit of a break from all those text-intensive videos I've been working on lately, I thought this might be a nice change of pace. Now, that said, there are a few things I should go over real quick before we jump in. First of all, we are of course using our Legacy campaign, the same one we used in the original series, which means all around us are familiar faces. We've got Spider Monster Rhett, Silent but Deadly Doll, It Only Hurts When I Laugh, Sergeant Bonkers, and Better Living Through Technology, Ian Longway, plus Lucia and Pizzepi, and of course Major Tom, the leader of Team November, and the future ruler of Colorado, but that is, of course, getting a bit ahead of ourselves. And we have the whole passel of pet pals in back. Because this is a Legacy campaign, I've still got them stacked pretty heavy. Not to mention, of course, that Pizzepi also got a dog that's lurking in the back there somewhere. We had some spare points, so I figured why not. Second, chronologically, we are right before the point of no return. We've already wiped out the Plains gang leaders. The only thing that's left is Liberty, who is still entrenched in her inner fortress with a handful of token guards. So pretty much all the normal content is done. We should just be focusing on the new expansion material. I will note, however, that because this is a Legacy campaign, we won't be able to explore all the new features, most notably the crafting system. That's stuff that you could only really fully explore by playing through a completely new campaign once it was introduced, and I just don't have time for that, so sadly we do not have access to any of the secret recipes from throughout the campaign, and most of our junk and scrap have long since been sold off and lost to the ravages of time. We will, however, still be able to make new recipes as we come across them, so we'll keep an eye out. And finally, we are mostly going into this blind, aside from the token research I did for my cut content video months ago. I have not played or researched these expansions at all. I've got a general idea of what to expect, but I don't know the specifics, and I'm sure there will be some fun surprises and maybe some panic-inducing moments, so that should be fun. Come on, November. Colorado awaits.
Rangers, this is the Patriarch. Stealtown, the factory I rely on to make the guns, armor, and vehicles needed for our war effort, is apparently having some kind of internal trouble, which is making them far less reliable.
Ah, Saul, it is good to hear your voice. What have you got for me, buddy? Lay it on me.
Deliveries have slowed to almost nothing, and what we do receive is often poorly made or just not what we ordered. I need you to go there, speak to the CEO, Abigail Markham, find out what the hell is going on, and fix it. With all the current chaos, now is not the time for her to be falling down on the job. Colorado needs what Stealtown makes, and we need it yesterday. Get this done, Rangers. ASAP.
Well, you heard the man. Let's find our way out to Stealtown. which does appear to be more or less in the region I previously speculated, though I think a little farther west than what I assumed was the placeholder. I imagine this will mostly just be a setup episode. We'll probably have a bunch of NPCs and archives or something we'll have to go through to establish the premise of the scenario and the new location, and the epic quest we now must embark upon, though I have heard it's relatively short. I've been told this will probably only be about 4 to 6 episodes long for Stealtown, and then maybe slightly over that for the Cult of Holy Detonation. So I guess maybe we're just looking at
When last we left the terrified Winifred, she was cornered in the Stetson City Cemetery by the evil Hogo Fogo. But Doug Badman means to make the villain pay for killing his sweetheart, Tornado Lou. As Winifred looks on, both men reach for their guns.
No, Doug, don't!
You know, I was told that apparently Lemonade Joe is a real thing. It's a 60s era parody that came out of the Soviet bloc, intended to poke fun at American Western films and general American values. So it is interesting that they included it on the radio in Wasteland 3. Anyway, it would appear that we have arrived. And this is definitely new. The placeholder I assumed was Stealtown's a little farther north, but this right here is definitely more impressive. Stealtown. Pueblo, Colorado is an industrial town. The town has been a ruin since the apocalypse, but its industrial side has boomed in recent years. Nice. So I was right about it being Pueblo, Colorado. Motor City Combine. That's new. Welcome to Stealtown. Howdy, Ranger. While exploring Stealtown, you'll come across several new gameplay features. We recommend selecting Continue to receive intel on them as you play. If you'd prefer to skip the briefing, you can choose to disable tutorials instead. No, I have, as aforementioned, I have not played any of this, so I would like to know what I am doing. But I guess that's it. I guess that was just the tutorial about tutorials. Thanks. Doggo.
Everybody in the factory is fine, guys. Totally fine. We're just on a big quota push right now, so we're all working overtime.
Come on, Bianchi. Nobody's come out of there in weeks. Where's my wife?
Where's my son?
Wait, are you guys the Desert Rangers? Abby said you were coming.
Yep, that's us. What's going on here?
Oh, just a little outreach. I'm Bennie Bianchi. Welcome to Stealtown. We're so glad you're here. But there's just a few tiny little itty-bitty steps to take before we can let you in. All you have to do is talk to Dr. Breeler in the Human Resource Center, and he'll get you started on the admission process right away. He's right up those steps. When you're done, come on in and see us.
Maybe you didn't hear us right, ma'am. We are here on behalf of the Patriarch, so I feel it would behoove you to let us in post-haste.
Oh, sorry. The computation engine says that during the lockdown, only authorized Stealtown employees may enter the factory. So if you want to come in, you have to be an employee. And to be an employee, you have to take our fitness tests. Good luck!
Who's he? What's it now? What is this, computation engine?
Oh, well, the computation engine is the heart and soul of Stealtown. It runs everything. The gates, the scheduling, the order tracking, fulfillment, lunch breaks. We couldn't survive without...
Nuh-uh, Bianchi. That's enough. You can talk to your friends later. We were here first. What's going on inside the factory?
We heard shooting in there. We demand to know our loved ones are safe.
Sorry, friends, sorry. Trust me, when this push is over, your relatives will be coming out of this gate with smiles on their faces and big fat paychecks in their... Oh, sorry, something's come up. Gotta go. Don't forget to talk to Dr. Breeler about your screening, Rangers. Can't wait to see you.
Well, that,
Can you
sir.
help us? Our families are in there.
Yes. I imagine that is part of why we're here. This would appear to be our setup.
Bennie can't hide behind that hologram forever. Hey, you're those Desert Rangers, huh? I'm Luis. Did I hear Bennie Bianchi ask you to come see her in Stealtown? 'Cause if you're gonna pay her a visit, us folks in the camp here sure would like to know what's going on in there. Most of us have family working there. And what with it being locked down and all, we don't know if they're alive or dead or if we'll ever see them again. And Bennie won't tell us a goddamn thing. My wife's in there, Florinda.
So, hold on. If I'm understanding this right, this whole dang town's a factory? What do you make here?
Damn near everything. Abigail Markham, who runs the place, got money from the Patriarch a while back to make it the center of industry in Colorado. Boy, did she deliver. Refit all of the ruined factories here in Pueblo. Got all the old systems up and running. Added a few of her own. Now the place makes generators, engines, trucks, furnaces, radios, medical supplies, weapons, armor, everything. There are folks that say the founding of Stealtown was as much the making of Colorado as the Patriarch's government. Without the stuff they make here, he wouldn't have been able to do half as much.
It's true. For those who can't afford custom-made weapons and appliances, Stealtown is a boon.
Lucia! I'm glad to see they actually recorded new lines for the companions. Nice.
Which is why it's weird to see it having conniptions like this. It used to be a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, well, the apocalypse is hard on us all. So who are you guys?
If you ask Bianchi, we're the future employees of Stealtown. At least that's how she and Abigail Markham like to string us along. Who we really are is a bunch of displaced fools who thought this place was gonna be our salvation. Thought it would feed us, house us, give us jobs. Well, some of us got jobs. Then they stopped hiring. And the rest of us have been freezing our asses off out here ever since.
Where'd you come from before this?
Out east, along the Colorado border, the Patriarch's peace with the gangs of the plains was supposed to make it safe territory. So we all went homestead.
Yep, that tracks. We saw a bit of that ourselves with the farms and ranches out east.
Now, though, seems like the gangs have forgotten the peace exists. They've been coming for settlers like wolves come for sheep. No choice but to up stakes and run. And this is where we ran to. Of course, now we're hearing that the gangs are coming here. So we may have only delayed our demise.
So the Plains gangs are coming here? You sure about that? I feel like someone may have taken care of them by now.
That's what they say. Apparently, Liberty's sending a big scavenging crew this way, hoping to score some heavy artillery ahead of her attack on Colorado Springs. And if things go like they have been, Stealtown's guard bots will just hide behind the gates and let us get shot to pieces. Or worse, scooped up for slaves. Used to. It seems like they got their own problems now. Pulled back all their patrols. Guard bots only worry about keeping people from going in or out, no matter what Bennie Bianchi says.
Interesting. I wonder if that means we'll get to fight more of the Scar Collectors or the Payasos. Or the, who were the other ones? The Godfishers. Ugh. Hate those guys. But I do suspect that's just a red herring. I think the real conflict is likely an internal one. Though I certainly wouldn't complain if we get to fight more of Liberty's mooks. So, Miss Bianchi, that's the hologram we were just chatting with, right?
Yeah, Markham's happy talk mouthpiece. Always telling us Stealtown needs us. Sure it does, but not enough to give us 4 walls and a roof. We're dying by inches out here.
If it's really that bad, then why do you stay here?
Where else are we gonna go? Rumor is they're turning folks away at Colorado Springs. Besides, there's work here. At least there's supposed to be, if they ever start hiring again. Not to mention, a lot of us have family inside the factory. We're not going anywhere until we see them again.
So you're telling me the factory's not hiring?
They're asking for applicants. Bianchi's practically begging for them. But no one gets through the selection process, and I don't know how they could. Stupid tests don't make any sense at all. Place has gone crazy.
Okay, I immediately have some theories, but I'm gonna sit on those for now. Define crazy.
You didn't hear me bending Bianchi's ear? The workers inside haven't been allowed out in weeks. There's been gunshots in there. We all got family in there, and nobody will tell us if they're okay, if they're even alive. Wish Markham would come out and talk to us herself, but all we get is Bennie pouring syrup in our ears. Phooey.
Yes, that does sound unpleasant. So you haven't heard from Markham at all?
Not a peep. Just Bennie saluting the flag and telling us everything's peachy. Ha!
Yeah, Bianchi is not doing herself any favors with that act. As a former customer service drone, I can confirm, people don't like it when you put an obvious spin on things. It just makes them even angrier. Also, this is kind of starting to sound like it might be a conflict between Bianchi and Markham. So maybe the gunshots were the two of them feuding over control of the facility. That would also explain why the computation engine's off-kilter. You want us to go check up on your wife?
Oh man, could you? Her name is Florinda. She works in the Warbot factory. Just let her know that I'm still alive and I miss her. Thank you so much.
You folks need anything else from us while we're still out here?
Mighty nice of you to ask. Huh. Now that you mention it, there's one particularly crappy situation we could use some help with. See, we don't have a proper toilet here. And it's dangerous. Not to mention colder than a robot's nuts. Go outside the camp. There's animals out there. So we've been going too close to home and it's kind of stinking up the place.
So, literally a crappy situation. Cute. I like that. Go on.
Now, we spotted an old job Johnny in the scrapyard, but there's a lot of nasty beasties around it. Nothing badasses like you couldn't handle, though. If you chase them off, my people can take care of dragging it back here.
Yeah, I think we can handle that. It'll be our number 2 priority.
Ha ha, very funny.
Hey, come on now. You started it. You're in for a whole lot more, I'm afraid. Anyway, yeah, we'll get on that.
Wonderful. You're just what we've been praying for. Go see Doc Breeler in the Human Resources Center up those steps. He's the guy you gotta talk to get in.
Will do.
Ah, good luck.
Stealtown wants you to have a great day.
Why, thank you. Ain't you just the sweetest titanium vault door I have ever laid my eyes on. Okay, so obviously we are supposed to go to the health screening, which means we will instead check out the yard.
Stealtown wants you to have a great day.
Hey, yo.
Halt. For your own safety, the scrapyard is off limits to non-Stealtown employees. Only authorized badge holders may enter. To apply for Stealtown employment, first see Dr. Wheeler at the Stealtown Human Resources Evaluation Center to the right of the main gate. Stealtown wishes you a nice day.
Well, thank you. Great voice, by the way. Vehicle station. I imagine we'll find some new bits and bobs for Morningstar here.
Keep moving.
Acknowledged.
I failed the screening test 6 times. Guess I'm not cut out for work.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more to it than that. Hello.
Halt. No one may enter without first undergoing the screening procedure.
Now you listen here. The Patriarch himself asked us to speak with Miss Markham.
No visitors are permitted at this time.
Would you say that to the Patriarch himself if he rolled up here at the head of a martial convoy?
Only screened employees with proper identification may enter Stealtown.
Actually, come to think of it, I suppose the Patriarch would, in fact, have proper identification. So, tell me more about this screening.
See Dr. Wheeler at the Human Resources Evaluation Center to complete your screening.
Yep, so nothing new there. I guess we'll see a lot of that until we actually visit the dock.
Nice day.
Are there any robots here that don't have silly names? Not that I'm complaining. Ooh, and that appears to be
special.
because we're rangers. Shut up. That appears to be an Arapaho truck.
This is Carla Asphalt-Runner calling Bennie Bianchi. You there, Bennie?
Oh yeah, that's definitely an Arapaho. Interesting.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, you're those Desert Rangers, huh?
Yep, that's us. Desert Rangers. Also, I'm a spider. So how about yourself?
I'm Carla Asphalt-Runner of Iron Thunder Logistics. Just trying to get some paperwork cleared up before I get the shipment on the road. Say, you wouldn't be going into the factory, would you? Because I've been trying to get this sorted out with Bennie, my contact in there, and she's not picking up.
Well, why don't you just go in there yourself?
Are you kidding? You can't get in there without taking some kind of stupid employment test. Even if you just want to ask a question. And nobody passes that test. You guys, though, the way you're tooled up, they might give you a pass.
Well, that's a peculiar thing to say. You're talking about Miss Bianchi, right?
Oh, you know her? Yeah, that's her. She's the one I deal with when I pick up orders here. But there's been a problem, and I can't get a hold of her.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, I got a crate on my truck that's not on the manifest. And Iron Thunder prides itself on getting every delivery right. So I'm not driving off with something I don't have any paperwork for. Especially when it's a goddamn disassembled warbot.
Yes, I can see how that might be somewhat disconcerting. So there's a warbot on your truck?
It's crazy, right? Stealtown makes warbots exclusively for the Patriarch. Nobody else can buy one. So finding one in a shipment with no shipping address or order number is bad.
That is bad. Weapons that powerful should only be in the hands of the authorities.
And yet we saw 0 guard bots back in Colorado Springs.
And it gets weirder. When I opened the crate to see what was in it, this paper fell out. It says, "Remember, Jay, 60-40 means 60 for me, 40 for you. XOXOB. I don't know about you, but to me, it sounds like someone inside is stealing warbots."
Yes, that is exactly what that sounds like. That sounds like a 60-40 split on stolen merchandise. And also, the only person we know thus far whose initial is B would be Miss Bianchi. But that feels like it might be too obvious. Though, then again, this is the same campaign where we met Charlie Hustle, the least subtle con artist in existence. Hey, you mind if we bend your ear a bit? We could do with some more intel.
I suppose. I'm sure as hell not going anywhere.
So what exactly do you ship for Stealtown?
You name it. Stealtown makes everything. Tools, weapons, construction equipment, trucks. Hell, my truck was made here. Even little things like toys, dishware, coffee makers. They do it all.
Really? I got the distinct impression that the Arapahos made and maintained their own trucks. That is somewhat unexpected. That would make them awfully beholden to the Patriarch. Sounds like Stealtown's a big client for you.
The biggest. Half my runs either start here or end here. At least they did, until things got screwy in there. Now it seems like all the shipments are delayed, or packed wrong, or misaddressed. It's a pain in the neck. Not to mention the lockdown that's going on now. No one allowed in, no workers allowed out. Don't know if it's a strike or a quarantine or what, but it sure ain't helping.
That could be what it is. A strike. Boulder. Back in Farron Brygo's casino with his mercenaries, the Stealtown Labor Union. He alluded to as much during our short and unpleasant conversation. Then shortly after that, he mysteriously turned up dead. Not sure how that happened. Oh boy. Man, I hope he didn't have any significant involvement in this DLC. Also, the positioning of Stealtown and Colorado Springs would put the Arapaho convoy ambush site right between these two locations. It's not much, but that is a nice touch. Not to mention, of course, the recent troubles would certainly explain why the Patriarch would take such a personal interest in a single missing shipment, considering the recent troubles in the production line. It's a small thing, but I do appreciate those sorts of details. While they obviously do take some shortcuts here and there, I feel like Wasteland 3's got some pretty solid world building. So what do you think the problem is?
I don't know. Supposedly they switched over to a computerized system a while back. The computation engine, they call it. Maybe it's buggy or something. Whatever it is, it's screwing with my schedule something fierce. Screwing with all the driver schedules.
Could be deliberate sabotage. You ever have any problems with the guard bots?
Other than me not being able to slip them a couple bucks to expedite something for me? Nah, they're only there to guard the factory. Here it's a different story inside, though. They're there to enforce productivity, and they can get pretty rough on the workers if they're not meeting their quotas.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Huh. Maybe that's what the lockdown's about. Markham knows the gangs of the plains are coming, and is having the bots put the screws to the workers to get the place ready for a fight.
I don't know. Maybe it's a convergence of multiple smaller events. A strike by a disgruntled workforce. A spy or saboteur sent by Liberty. All running afoul of whatever Bianchi's got going on. I can't imagine they kept it as simple as just one of those things. The Plains gangs, huh? Yeah, I've had a few run-ins with them.
That's the rumor. They say Liberty is sending out scavenger crews to stop by and stock up on vehicles, weapons, and war bots before she makes her move on Colorado Springs. I just hope I get this mystery crate business sorted out before that happens, because I want to be long gone when it does.
So you can't get in there either, huh? Starting to sound like no one can get in there.
Well, I've never bothered to try, but from what I hear, you've got to talk to the doctor in Human Resources Center, right behind me. Apparently, he gives you some kind of test that tells you if you're allowed in or not. Not too many people pass it these days, but you look like intelligent individuals. I'm sure you'll pass.
Yes, I am very intelligent. Thank you.
I just hope I get this mystery crate business sorted out before that happens, because I want to be long gone when it does.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. I'm starting to think things are going to go sideways once we get in there.
You mean how you're going to talk to Bennie Bianchi about this mystery crate? Yes, please.
Well, that is awfully presumptuous of you, ma'am, but sure, yeah, I think we can take care of that.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And here, take the note for evidence. Oh, also, if you need any supplies, I've got some returns ITL dispatch that I could sell. Let me know if you want to look.
Yeah. Show me what you've got.
Have a look.
Ooh, that's kind of fun. A fireball rifle. Though it appears to be a single shot. And honestly, I rather suspect our fireball machine gun is slightly better, so we'll just stick with that, I think. Well, thus far I am underwhelmed, so what else do you have for me? Chemical neutralizer. Looks to be a new consumable that is designed to remove a variety of status effects. Very basic, but potentially useful. So it's really just ammo and consumables. Noted. Well, Carla, it has been a pleasure. Let's see what these other fine folks have for us. Is that the bunkers? Okay, I'll bite.
I'm watching the TV! Ah, the buddy cop show again. My favorite.
Is it the one where some poor guy is murdered and everybody at the station thinks it's just a robbery gone wrong, but the buddy detectives think it's more than that and nobody listens to them?
Uh-huh. And then another guy gets killed. Everybody at the station thinks it's just another robbery gone wrong. But something doesn't smell right to the buddies, so they look for a connection.
Yeah, but before they can make it, a guy from the DA's office tells their boss to make an arrest and move on. But the buddies refuse, and the boss takes them off the case.
So they go to a bar with beautiful cocktail waitresses walking around and drink whiskey and talk over the evidence, and they suddenly make the connection they missed before and realize they have to act now or a witness will die.
So they jump in their car and make other cars crash as they race to the witness's house, just in time to find a masked man with gloves on about to kill him. And when they pull the guy's mask off, it's the mean guy from the DA's office.
Turns out he's running for mayor, and he needs to win a big mob case. So he's making it look like the mobster is having a witness killed to silence them. And when they arrest him, their boss forgives them. And there's a freeze frame when they laugh.
Yay! They got him!
What? That actually sounds really familiar. But I mean, it might be because it's such a generic buddy cop scenario.
Wait till the commercial.
Hey, it's the daytime drama now.
Is this the one where Jason is mad at Marty for what she said about Raylene at Henry's party?
That's the one! And then Jason goes to David's cafe to meet Lauren and tells her about it. And she says she knows why Margie said that, but she can't tell him because she promised Mr. Berkshire, the banker, that she would keep it a secret.
Right. And meanwhile, Margie's at the yacht club with her cousin Patrice and Patrice's mother Grace, telling her side of the story. But they're interrupted by Paul, the tennis pro, who says he knows the way Margie can get revenge on Jason.
At the same time, across town, Jeff, Jason's gold chain-wearing cousin, is let out of jail and met by Jackie, his girlfriend, who takes a gun out of her purse and gives it to him as the credits roll. Oh, I can't wait to find out what happens next.
So yeah, that was completely pointless, but I loved it. Those are great voices. It's definitely an homage to Archie and Edith Bunker. What was the show? It was All in the Family. Dare we click them again? Will they reward us with another sprawling tale of yesteryear's cinema?
Hey, we're talking here.
Archie, there's people in our living room again.
Hey, the comedy's on.
Oh, I love that show. Is this the one where the husband buys his wife some fancy underwear for her anniversary, but he doesn't want her to find out, so he gives it to the neighbor boy to hide in his house, and his mother thinks it's for her?
Yep, and she thinks it from her husband, and thanks him. And he says, I didn't buy you any underwear. Who's buying you underwear? And they ask the boy, and he says, it was the neighbor man. Oh boy, do they get mad about that.
So they bust in on the first couple at dinner, shaking the underwear box in their faces. And the poor husband, now his wife, is mad at him too. Why you buying the neighbor lady fancy underwear, she says.
And he says, I didn't, and I can prove it. So he tells the neighbor and his wife to go home and try on the underwear. And he guarantees it won't fit. And so they do, and they come back all shaved-faced because it didn't fit at all.
So, all's well, until that night when the wife tries on the underwear and it doesn't fit her either. The husband thinks he's in big trouble, but she hugs him and says, silly, you never get the fit right. That's how I know you bought it for me.
Oh, now that one sounds really familiar. I think they're describing plots for actual classic TV shows. But lingerie would be pretty risque for a 60s or 70s era sitcom, I think. Man, that is going to drive me crazy. I used to watch a ton of Nick at Night when I was younger, and that does really seem familiar.
Hey, the Rangers are gonna crack the safe.
Oh, am I not supposed to open this? Yes? No? I kind of want that. Okay, unless I am misreading this, that is a heavy machine gun fire extinguisher, which is amazing. I am kind of tempted to slap that on Red, but it's also kind of antithetical to his whole shtick. I really want to click on those two again, but we've got things to do.
Looking to get into the factory? You should talk to Dr. Breeler.
Yes, so I have heard. Thank you. Is that a corpse over there?
Anybody know anybody who's passed the test?
I don't know, but I will find out. Pardon me? Aram. That's a peculiar name. This man's corpse was rent from his belly up, spilling his viscera into the snow. Whatever was used to cut him was so sharp, it left a divot in the base of his sternum. A tattered scrap of paper sticks out from below the man's torn jacket. It reads, "Fifth time's the charm, I hope. Sorry, little dude, but you and me and your sister are going to prove that mycology can save the world from tears." Mycology. That's the study of fungus. You know, I did hear that the mushroom guy back at Ranger HQ was going to get more involvement in the DLC. I think we might have to pay that guy a visit.
Excuse me, you're the Rangers, aren't you? I heard from a refugee who left Colorado Springs that you might have seen my daughter, Hallie. Is that true? He said he saw you talking to her near the pillories there.
Hallie.
Hallie and me got separated on the road, and I ended up in this camp. Been saving up traveling money to go find her, but the guy I talked to said you might have sent her someplace, so I don't know where to go. You know where she is now?
Oh, yes, that's that girl that we rescued from La Perla and her slavers. Yeah, she's still in Colorado Springs, because we killed the slavers, rather than just warning her about them. Well, that is a pleasant surprise. I really wasn't expecting this much interaction between the DLC and incidental secondary plot threads from the main game. You're Hallie's mother? Yeah, we left her back in Colorado Springs. We'll radio HQ and get you two back together.
Oh, thank you. I can't believe this. After all this time. Oh.
Fantastic.
This is Ranger HQ Actual. Come in, Team November.
Hey, Marcello. You are not going to believe this, but we're talking to Hallie's mother, Dierdre. Let's get these two back together.
That's incredible, November. One of our recruits saw Hallie yesterday in downtown Colorado Springs. I'll put the word out to bring her to the base. We'll have Masato prepare the best reunion meal this side of Colorado. Travel safe, ma'am. Ranger HQ out.
I can't thank you enough, Rangers. This is all I have left. Please take it.
Oh, you don't have to, And she's gone. Wow, that just makes me feel warm and fuzzy all over. It's rare to get a solid win in the Wasteland setting. Also, that did bump up our rep with the civilian faction. That got us up to loved. If we can actually get reputation rewards in the DLC, then that might give us a chance to shore up our rep with some of the other factions. Though obviously it's a bit late for the Gippers, and even if they did love us, they'd still hate us too. The Marshals, though, that might still be possible. So in theory, we might actually be able to unlock the November Reigns ending. Though I don't know if I'd want to change continuity that drastically.
If I just stick to the plan, I'll... Oh! Hi. Didn't see you come up.
You seem nervous, said the giant spider. Everything all right?
I'm just... it's none of your business, okay?
That is a fair assessment. But why don't you tell us anyway? Maybe we can help.
You do that? Really? I didn't think anyone gave a shit about us refugees. The bots certainly don't. They don't care if a woman is going to... It's my mom, okay? She's inside. Does data collection on the truck line, but... she's also diabetic. We didn't tell anyone, and Reeler was too drunk to notice, 'cause they'd fire her immediately if they found out. They used to let us send in 1 letter a week, and I was using it to smuggle in doses of some insulin we... found. But since the lockdown, no letters. She's gonna go into shock and die if I don't get her a dose fast.
Wait. Are you saying you know a secret way into Stealtown? That would be useful to know.
Yeah. I'm just not sure I can do it. If I get caught, they'll kill me. I'm not an employee, so no non-lethal treatment for me. Then my mom dies too.
Well, that seems a bit harsh, but I guess it does make sense in a post-apoc setting.
And that assumes I make it all the way inside without getting boiled or crushed in the ducts. That's my way in. There's a little exhaust port in the scrapyard. I could slip in, but armored-up mercs like you could never fit.
Okay, so your name is Newt, and you're trying to get in through the vents. I don't suppose your mother's name is Ripley? That aside, I suppose we really shouldn't be encouraging this kid to get herself into a potential life-and-death situation. Not when we can just walk right in and hopefully take care of it for her. Why don't you just sit tight, ma'am? We're headed in anyway. We'll see if we can get things smoothed over for you and your mom before her chest bursts.
You're right. I just gotta hope the lockdown ends before it's too late. Mom's name is Ellen. If you find her, let her know I've got her meds.
Yep. Ellen Ripley. Got it. Very subtle. Did she actually give us insulin? We'll have to double check our quest items.
You don't have much, but take what you need.
Oh, well, I don't actually need this stuff, so you can keep it. Huh. Tellurium steel. This steel and tellurium alloy is Stealtown's signature material, with properties allowing for far more precise machining. Now that, I think we will take. Hey. Tellurium steel is an alloy that is produced exclusively at Stealtown. It can be used to craft certain items and equipment, as well as make improved, elite variants of Stealtown weapons and armor. Be careful, tellurium steel is extremely limited in quantity, so you'll need to pick and choose what you want to use it for. Duly noted, tutorial cowboy. Not sure why I really lapsed into that voice, but it just kind of happened. I've got the spider brain.
Hope you can use that to get us out of this mess.
Yeah, actually, I think I can use that. Thank you.
In Stealtown, they beat plowshares into guns.
Alright, folks, we are just past the 45-minute mark, and I am going to try to keep these Wasteland 3 episodes slightly shorter. This is kind of my break from the more ambitious gameplay vids. Plus, I need to take a moment to get into the options and maybe fine-tune the sound settings a bit. I really feel like those burning barrels are a bit overpowering, which is weird because I think I've got the ambient volume set to 50. Anyway, I suppose in the grand scheme of things we didn't get a whole lot done today. We made it to Stealtown, we chatted with a few NPCs, got the general gist of what's going on here. Not to mention, reunited a distraught mother with her kidnapped daughter. That's something. But I still enjoyed it. I also feel like they stepped up their game with the voice acting. I feel like there is a noticeable difference between this voice acting and the voice acting in the core campaign. Slightly better timing, slightly better delivery, and some of those voices are really great. That said, we will hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time as we have a chat with Doc Breeler, find out what the deal with this entrance exam is. I do have some speculation already, but I want more information before I really start yammering about it. I mean, I've been all over the place with my speculation thus far. We just don't have a lot to go on yet. So I'm really just scattershotting right now, throwing a handful of darts at the board in hopes that one of them will hit the bullseye. But we will find out more next time. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Wasteland 3, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
Get this done, Rangers. ASAP.